I got mine. You got $1, I got a dime. You got a family, I wish I had mine. You got a home, I'm committing a crime. I'm sleeping on the street, in my car in the cold and heat. Part-time jobs all I
Welcome.
find, searching
I
for
should say
my
that
peace
again.
of
Show up
mind.
first. But anyway, Richard Del Conner, Buddha Jan, Kung Fu Cowboy here. And the journey's getting much more uncomfortable. I'm almost halfway through it, and they say it's going to get a lot worse. But at the halfway point, I can start to anticipate what's going to happen. But anyway, the radiation is very uncomfortable. In fact, I'd been noticing something over the last few days, and I didn't compute because I thought I had, running me back in the 80s, did a lot of construction and had sweaty underwear, and I'd get jock itch or something. And I noticed I was starting to get a little, well, just say I got some itching in more places below the belt, and came to realize I got a sunburn all over the place, even my pubics. So yes, I'm getting the pain has spread out to an area about, I don't know, about this big, even though the nucleus is it's supposed to be the size of maybe a golf ball. But yeah, but the radiation has to go through everything to get to that golf ball, even though they hit that golf ball from a bunch of different directions, so that the outside doesn't get burned as badly. The outside's still getting burned. It's getting little burns instead of a lot of burn. So that's the whole concept. In fact, I got permission, I think I told you, from the nurse. I'm going to get some videos. I'll show you what I have to do. So watch for some upcoming videos. I'll put them on this podcast. I'll somehow marry them together. That'll be the first time I put 2 live clips together in Premiere Pro. So yeah, coming soon. So, okay, let's see. Chemotherapies, I don't know. It's actually hitting me in a whole different way. Now, this may be the chemotherapy and not the radiation. And this is what they told me. They said I was getting spots on my hands and stuff. Well, actually, can we kind of tell if we look at the palm of my hand? Can you tell it's kind of red all the time? See how it's kind of extra pink? Well, anyway, my palms are really red. It's getting, I guess they seem kind of red. They're flushed. They may be swollen. I went and got groceries, and I drive up. I do the order online at Walmart, and then I go park in a place, and they bring it out to me. I put it in the back of my truck, and I drive off. Really easy. During the pandemic, I guess we're kind of still in it, but I got nervous going inside the store, all these other people, So anyway, I went and got my groceries today at 9 o'clock, because it's going to be like 110 or 13 every day, like for the next few days, over 110. So I went and got it early this morning. Gave some advice and talked to a couple people there. I could tell a couple interesting stories about that. That was kind of fun. There's one girl there who always, has to talk to me, and then this guy I talked to today. Anyway, but let's see. But yes, I'm swollen. Well, that's what I was going to say. When I went to pick up my groceries, and I noticed every time I picked up a thing of water, it really hurt. I mean, it hurt. Not quite a hot pain, but a painful pain. We'll just say hot. I mean, it was like burning, but it wasn't the skin. It was my muscles that were hurting. And so every time I picked up a water, but then I go, my hand hurts. I mean, I could do it, but it was hurting the whole time. I'd pick it up by the little cap or the lid, and my hand would just be going burning. And it was like, wow, It didn't matter how I picked it up, actually. But anyway, the point being is my hands are burning. Now, to make that even worse, now I didn't notice it last night. I taught a Kung Fu class, and I was really working on the stances and showing them how to pivot better on the heels. But when I walk around here, I normally wear socks, because I had a problem with plantar fasciitis some years ago, when I guess I wasn't very active after my surgeries, and I kind of got some fluid on the bottom of my feet. Plantar fasciitis, you can look that up. I'm still not an expert on it. So for some months, my doctor sent me off to a place, and they gave me some antihistamines, which didn't work, and then I'd go to this therapist, and the therapist would work my bottom of my foot, and they would try to get all the fluid out. Really painful. I mean, they'd work it painfully. I got to thinking, what's the difference between them working the bottom of my foot and me going and doing a bunch of walking? I'm not sure that there's a whole bunch. So in other words, I'm thinking that the walking may be good for the fluid that I now have on the bottom of my foot. It's worse than it's ever been. This morning I tried walking around barefoot, and it was so painful. It was like walking on hot coals. It was very, very painful. And I just decided to be a trooper and said, well, wow, I can feel all the fluid on my foot. I'll just keep going barefoot and see if I can't push the fluid out, But oh man, it was so painful. So by the time I took my shower and got dressed and put my shoes on, I could feel it in my shoes, because I had, unfortunately, by going barefoot, because like I say, I normally wear socks just to, make it more comfortable. and when I'm indoors here. And anyway, I can feel it in my shoes. So they've gotten worse. So I'm only using my treadmill 2-3 times a week, and then I do my Kung Fu classes. And so maybe there's 1 or 2 days a week I'm not doing any exercise hardly, which isn't really good. I mean, that's rare for me. I'm probably somebody who's never missed a day of exercise for a few decades or something. But anyway, I'm gonna have to experiment. Am I going to be doing myself a favor by walking in pain in hope of relieving some of the fluid that's gathering under the bottom of my foot? Am I doing myself a favor, or am I exacerbating the condition? I don't know. So I'm not professing to even give a theory. Well, I gave you my theory. My theory is that I hope that it works. I hope that by walking more, I will actually lose the fluid on the bottom of my foot, and it will be less painful. I'll give you the update. So we'll see. I'll tell you how far I walk and what I do, and I'll try to keep you posted on that. I'm a guinea pig. All right, let's see. And then in terms of my Kung Fu and stuff, like I told you, I was doing my Kung Fu class yesterday, and I felt really good. We had a really good time. I just have so much fun. We laugh, and I joke. I was thinking about videotaping them, but then I thought, well, would I tell the same jokes, because I'm kind of off the cuff and, not always politically correct or anything, because he's a guy. And so I kind of stretch the rules and teacher-student, joking a little bit, just a teeny bit, not much. But I had him just laughing and laughing. And I left him with one little joke he liked. I said, what was it? He goes, yeah, spirit wolf of truth. He was cheering me on, and I said, yeah, you can always tell when I'm telling a lie. I go, I get hit by a lightning bolt. He just laughed. But I said a couple of jokes that had him just laughing and laughing. I go, wow, that was a good joke. I have to remember what those were. But let's see. There was one that he kept laughing and laughing. I had a few good punchlines yesterday. But anyway, I was just having fun, just enjoying teaching and doing Kung Fu. So Kung Fu is just so much fun. That's what people don't understand. It's not like karate. Karate is not fun. I have never gone and watched a karate class and thought that's fun. Not even for a second. Never thought that's fun. Those guys don't know how to have fun. It's just a style that's not about fun. It's about hurting each other. In fact, that there's one martial arts style that had me do that theme song, Wan Hop Kwendo or something. Their motto is, if there's not blood on the floor, then the class isn't over. That's how archaic and primitive and brutal they are. Kind of my friends, kind of. But that's their logic. It's all this, Spartan military run the gauntlet every class kind of thing. But we're not like that in Kung Fu. It's like, let's have fun. Let's get healthy. Let's feel good. Let's share some, knowledge, wisdom, exercise, flexibility, speed. Anyway, that's what we're about. Okay, so anyway, so where were we? So yesterday was Friday. I went and did my blood test. And every Friday. Now, I actually, for the first time, this is important, I went online and I looked at my blood tests. I got an account. I'm using Quest Diagnostics. So you get an account, and I can go in my account, and I can see all my blood tests, and I can see all the results. Now, 3 weeks ago, on my blood test, everything was green. Everything's good. 2 weeks ago, one of them went red. It was my white blood cell count. I went too low in my blood. I went to it into the red, like, hey, there's something wrong with this guy's white blood cells to count too low. And then last week's one had 2 of them that were low. My white cell blood count was down, and this other thing was down, which I should remember. I'll tell you next time. And so I got 2 of these things are in the red. So my blood, something in, because this radiation and the chemotherapy is killing my blood cells and something else, some sort of protein thing. I forget. So yeah, that's why they monitor me every week, so we can notice 1 week I lost this thing, and then the next week I lost that and this, and next week where's it going to be? So yeah, I got to take these weekly blood tests. I'm going to take them always on the same day, so we'll have an idea of the pattern too. I've already booked all my appointments for the next 4 weeks. I got to do this therapy until I finished. Went online and I booked all of them same time on Friday. So on Friday I do my radiation, and then I go straight from my radiation to my blood test, and that's every Friday. Except for the last week. I'm going to do it on Thursday because that Friday is my record release. And I'm hoping that my last day of radiation is actually the Thursday. So that Friday, I can just wake up and stay home and do my record release all day and not have to go to radiation and blood tests and stuff. So I'm hoping to get the last radiation and the last blood test on the actual Thursday, the day before the record release on August 6th. So like August 5th is probably going to be my last day of treatment. We'll see. Okay, and then, oh man, I got to wipe my cat's butt. Kung Fu Cowboy's coming. Let me give you a real thing. I'm sorry, he did a poo-poo, so I always wipe his butt. Okay, real quickly, and this is important. Appearance, taste, and desires can mislead our efforts from what we really want to what we momentarily need. One more time. Appearance, tastes, and desires can mislead our efforts. Mislead our efforts, in other words, make you decide go a different path from what we really want to what we momentarily need. Like maybe you really want a bunch of money, but maybe you'll decide because something smells really good that, oh, I need to eat that. So just it's basically Lao Tzu saying 2,500 years ago to realize that sometimes what you think you need right now is not what you actually want. Okay, see you later, Kung Fu Cowboy out of here, and I gotta wipe the butt. See ya.
Problems, I got mine. You got $1, I got a dime. You got a family, I wish I had mine. You got a home, I'm committing a crime. I'm sleeping on the street, in my car in the cold and heat. Part-time job's all I find, searching for my peace of mind. Sleeping with the stars. We're not homeless, we have cars. I need a financial injection to complete my scorpion resurrection. My Buddha Kung Fu was Shaolin Kung along with Tai Chi Youth, a playground in Atlantis. The Coyote Clan was a wife and 2 kids, but now their religion, singing with me, forbids. No, I'm not blaming the economy. I'm done shaming those who deserted me. I got resentment for some relatives who failed to help or offer a place to live. Sleeping with the stars. We're not homeless, we have cars. I need a financial injection to complete my scorpion resurrection. Now I see the blessing of what could have been much worse. If I'd let them support me, their advice would be my curse. Parents want peace of mind when they go to bed each night. So for their security, they know what's right. As I look back on the choices made, my parents only see how much I've paid. I haven't lived my life for money. I've been singing songs and writing poetry. I'm a man of multiple identities, so don't think you ever see all of me. I am who I want to be. Can you say the same? Are you really free? Sleeping with the stars. We're not homeless, we have cars. I need a financial injection to complete my scorpion resurrection.